How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give him a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark Elevation from 2 nights ago, which was December 5th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Hagane Shino versus Nick Camarado. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Hagane Shino went over with a crucifix pin. Now, after the match, as Hagane Shino was celebrating his victory, Nick Camarado attacked Hagane Shino from behind and beat the shit out of him, and Aaron Solo executed the windmill kick and laid Hagane Shino out and everything, and the factory, which are Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado, stood tall and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 2, it was Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Alice Crawley and Kitty LaFleur. Excuse me. Match 2, it was Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Alice Crawley and Kitty LaFleur. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir went over because Marina Shafir pinned Alice Crawley with the Flapjack DDT combination from Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. Match 3, it was Kiera Hogan versus Nikki Victory. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Kiera Hogan went over with a backdrop driver. Match 4, it was Top Flight, which are Dante and Darius Martin, versus the Outrunners, which are Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Top Flight went over because Dante Martin pinned Truth Magnum with the nosedive. Match 5, it was Emi Sakura versus Madison Rayne. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Emi Sakura went over with a roll-up. Now, before the match, Emi Sakura was out in the ring and Madison Rayne came out to the ring, Emi Sakura attacked Madison Rayne and beat the shit out of her before the match started and everything. That was cool. That was before the match, by the way. Match 6, it was Lee Moriarty versus Serpentico. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Lee Moriarty went over with the Border City Stretch. Match 7, it was The Embassy, which are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan versus Facade, Dan Adams, and Star Rider. That was a great match, but the ending to it, The Embassy went over cause Brian Cage pinned Star Rider with an assisted powerbomb from Toa Leona, Bishop Khan, and Brian Cage. Well, now, after the match, as the Embassy, which are Prince Nana, Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan, were celebrating the Embassy's victory, Dalton Castle and the Boys, which are Brandon and Brent Tate, came out on stage, and a stare down between the Embassy and Dalton Castle and the Boys occurred and everything. That was cool. That was after the match. That was after the match, by the way. Match 8. That was match 7, by the way. Match 8. It was Kip Sabian versus Alex Reynolds. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Kip Sabian went over with the sit-out facebuster. And match 9, which was the main event, it was Konosuke Takeshita versus Aaron Solo. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Konosuke Takeshita went over with the bridging German suplex. Now, after the match, Don Callis was already out before the match ended, but Don Callis was watching Konosuke. Don Callis was watching Konosuke Takeshita celebrate his victory and everything, and Konosuke Takeshita was wondering what was going on and everything as well. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And that was match 9 and the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Lexi Nair interviewed the Firm, which are Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy. Well, Lexi Nair brought up about the Firm's dissension and everything, and Ethan Page was talking about how Matt Hardy and Private Party were going to have a match, but the match was called off, and Matt Hardy was pissed off, wondering why the match was called off and everything, and Ethan Page was talking about how Mark Quinn hurt his shoulder and everything, and how he wasn't going to be able to compete due to it and everything, and Mark Quinn was talking about how he had a one good shoulder he could use and everything, and Ethan Page was still not having it, and Ethan Page was talking about how Matt Hardy put his hands on him and how he continues to defy him and everything, and Isaiah Cassidy was trying to do some silly shit, but Matt Hardy called him down and said, "Zay, now's not the time and the place to do for this dude." Well, Matt Hardy told Isaiah Cassidy, "Zay, now is not the time and the place, dude." And so Matt Hardy was trying to talk Ethan Page out of because Ethan Page brought up that if Matt Hardy continued to defy him and put his hands on him, then Private Party were going to suffer the consequences. And Matt Hardy was trying to talk Private Party out. Matt Hardy was trying to talk Ethan Page out of it. But Ethan Page wasn't having it and told Matt Hardy, "You're not doing nothing, Matt, because I told you, you continue to defy me and you continue to put your hands on me, then Private Party will suffer the consequences." And then Matt Hardy started screaming, and Matt Hardy apologized to Ethan Page and promised Ethan Page he'd have Ethan Page's back in the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal on AEW Dynamite, and asked to keep Private Party out of all this because it's between them two and everything, between himself and Ethan Page and everything. And Ethan Page was talking about how he already came up with the decision to punish Private Party over Matt Hardy's actions and everything. Now, before all that, Ethan Page brought up about giving Private Party a chance against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal on Rampage, but Private Party yet again failed him and everything. But going back to what was going on, Matt Hardy and Ethan Page continued to bicker and everything, and Ethan Page ended up leaving, and Matt Hardy promised Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy that they were going to get through this and they were going to find a way out of it and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Tony Schiavone, Paul White, and Matt Menard done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Mike Posey refereed the match between Hagane Shino versus Nick Camarado. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Alice Crawley and Kitty LaFleur. Rick Knox refereed the match between Kiera Hogan versus Nikki Victory. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Top Flight versus the Outrunners. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Emi Sakura versus Madison Rayne. That was Stephon Smith, by the way. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Lee Moriarty versus Serpentico. Mike Posey refereed the match between The Embassy versus Facade, Dan Adams, and Star Rider. Stephon Smith, that was Mike Posey, by the way. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Kip Sabian versus Alex Reynolds. And Paul Turner refereed the match between Konosuke Takeshita versus Aaron Solo. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now anyway, Now the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark Elevation. Now the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight. It's going to be Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT title. The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, versus FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler for the AEW And the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight, it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT title. The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, versus FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler for the AEW Tag Team titles. The Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Jake Hager and Daniel Garcia, versus the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. A Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the AEW title. And Jade Cargill and the Baddies, which are Red Velvet and and Jade Cargill and the Baddies, which are Red Velvet and Layla Gray, versus Madison Rayne, Kiera Hogan, and Sky Blue. Those are the matches that have been announced. Now, besides the matches that have been announced, Jon Moxley will be appearing live, MJF will be appearing live, and Tony Schiavone will be conducting a sit-down interview with Jamie Hayter. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite tonight looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark Elevation from 2 nights ago, which was December 5th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your fucking ass down the goddamn road. Peace out.